Guess what? What?
It is I, Rebex!
Hello and welcome to Darkfall Unholy Wars. My goodness, my name is Rex. Welcome. This is my very first impressions of the game. I am a huge fan of this game. The original Darkfall 1.0 was released in 2009. One of my favorite games, in my top 3. We'll go into more detail on that. But this is the new Darkfall Unholy Wars. This is the Darkfall 2.0. Revised graphics, new classes, a lot of new features. We're going to go over it, and we're going to jump in. So let's check it out. Right now, we are at character creation. We have a couple classes to choose from. Now, real quick, there's 2 servers that we have in Darkfall Unholy Wars. There's a European server, and there's a North American server, depending on where you're at. Darkfall Unholy Wars is developed by Aventurine, and they've been working on this game for ages. I'm telling you something, it is one heck of a game. It is on a scale like no other. It's huge. Definitely go into more detail of the game in a minute here, but we got to create our class, we got to create our character. Okay, for classes we have the Mercians. These guys look like, well, humans. You can do a male or female. We have the Orc class. Wow, that's scary. That guy has a lot of teeth. I bet he can eat fish really quickly. Again, female class as well. Wow. Okay. We have the Tovar. Tovar is kind of like the descendants of the dwarves, except they're a little bit taller. They bred them correctly, so they're taller than dwarves this time. We have the Maharim. I played the Maharim in Darkfall 1.0, and I love them. They're like the wolf class, basically. They love meat. They're super carnivores. They love violence and good people as well. They live up in Wolflands, kind of close to the Ice Island. We'll get to the map as well. The Darkfall map is pretty massive. It's pretty huge. It's actually one of the biggest maps, open world maps I've ever seen, I've ever played. Obviously Eve might be bigger, but in terms of an MMO, this is going to be some of the biggest open world gameplay you will see. This is a sandbox MMO. Yes, we will get into the details of that in a minute. Next we have the Murdain. Murdain. They're kind of like the elf class of the game. If you like elves, they have elf ears, so that's good stuff. And then we have the Alfar. Alfar are kind of like the thief. They're kind of like the circus class of the game. They're really tiny, and they're scandalous. They're scandalous and they're thievy. They're like the gypsies of Darkfall, my opinion. Anyways, let's go ahead and do Maharim because I love them so much. I'm gonna do a chick this time because she's cute. Whoa, super cute. All right, let's see what we can do here. Again, I'm not really going for the Pocahontas look. I am going for like a super hardcore. Violent look. There we go. She got scratched. She was on Jerry Springer. Just kidding. She's there we go. That's decent, but that's nice. Okay, that's definitely Pocahontas style. There we go. That's more like it. She has some blood on her face from kicking butt. I like that. Oh, perfect. Queen of the Reindeer. I like it. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Earrings. I don't really need to do any earrings, I guess. Extra accessories. Let's check it out. Okay. Hey, the more crowns I can put on my head, the better. That's for sure. Okay, let's go ahead and do next step. Okay, well here's where it gets interesting. Again, in Darkfall 1.0, there were no classes. You can essentially be a warrior, a mage, an archer, all in one character. Although it was pretty complicated for the newbies out there. Looks like in Darkfall Unholy Wars, they are kind of making it a little bit easier to kind of focus on different classes. There's the warrior class. There's the skirmisher, which is going to be your ranger, your archer class. And there's your elementalist, which is obviously the mage class. Now, don't get me wrong here. If I pick warrior right now, I'm not going to be confined to warrior. I can always switch to skirmisher or elementalist down the road. It takes a couple minutes to switch. I think it's like 15 minutes once you change your role or your class. That said, for fun, let's go ahead and start off with warrior. I think for any new player, warriors are a good base to start off with just because they have higher health. But that said, if you want to go mage or ranger or skirmisher or elementalist, you can do that. Anyways, let's pick warrior. The armor you see here is high tier armor. This is armor that you don't get at the beginning of the game. It takes a while to get this. This is very high end. They call this infernal armor. And this is coming from Darkfall 1.0. With each class, there are different roles that you can pick. As you can see, we have these things here. There's Battlebrand, which is the more defensive specialty for the warrior. We have something called Berserk. Barsark? Berserk. Learn the ancient traditions of the Berserker tribes. You are a maelstrom of pain, able to bring enemies all around you. This is some offensive spells. This is defensive spells. Now we have 2 more down here. This is called Slayer. This is not in the game yet. We are in the beta of Darkfall. This is not the release yet. There's going to be some changes. There's going to be a lot more addition. I was just too excited. I wanted to do a first impressions video of the beta just because I love this game and I really believe in it and I think it has a lot of potential. So that said, we were not able to pick Champion or Slayer. These will be introduced and it's going to change the game as it is as well. Quickly, if we were to pick Skirmisher, we do have a couple different types of Skirmishers you can play. There is a Skirmisher, a Brawler. This is more of the melee Skirmisher. We do have the Deadeye. This is more of the Marksman. Dex, you want to have high Dex. This is going to be for, well, if you're going to be using a bow a lot, this is a good way to go. We also have Blackguard, and we have Duelist. These are not, again, the bottom two are not implemented yet. You're able to use two, so defensive or melee and range, you're able to use two at a time. So down the road when all four are implemented, I believe you're able to pick and choose. Although I don't think some of them work together. I think you can only do the top or the bottom here. I could be wrong on that. Let's take a look at the Elementalist real quick. The Elementalist, we have the Fire Elementalist, Air Elementalist, water and earth are not implemented yet. Okay. And I believe there is going to be the Primalist, which is going to be implemented hopefully soon. Has a lot of debuffs and stuff like that. That's going to change the game landscape as well. Anyways, let's go back to Warrior real quick. Okay, here's the Warrior schools. We can't use Slayer or Champion yet, but we can pick Battlebrand and Berserk. So for my main, my primary, I'm going to go ahead and do Battlebrand. Here are the spells that come with Battlebrand. Foebringer. Bandage. Foebringer basically, well, you read the description, it drags your enemies closer to you. If they're running away, it basically gives them, well, they can't run away. It's kind of like a whirlwind type spell, brings them closer to you. Bandage, that's going to be one of the ways to heal. Lick your wounds, it says. Spell base pretty awesome as well. If mages are coming at you as a warrior, you pop this spell and you have a lot more protection for all elemental types of damage. That's lightning, acid, fire, etc. Now, Stinging Riposte. This is a pretty cool spell as well. If you pop this spell, this basically self-absorbs some of the damage dealt to you and returns a percentage to your attacker. So if you're getting attacked by a lot of different players, you pop this on, even though you get hit, they're going to be taking damage from you as well. Now, Stoke Defense, this is the kind of the ultimate ability. It's a huge shield. For 12 seconds, you are essentially immune to everything. I don't believe you can cast anything when you have it, but you can get away. It does help you in times of need. Pretty cool stuff. All right, let's take a look at Berserk as well. Let's drop this down here. Berserk is more of the offensive spells for the warrior. We have Maelstrom. This is kind of that 360, that move. They have this in Darkfall 1 where you do a 360 and you can basically attack everyone around you. Repel. This is going to repel your enemies around you. If you're getting attacked and you need to run away, that's one way to do that. Or if you're on a big cliff and there's an enemy attacking you, you can repel them off the cliff. Stampede, one of the best spells in the game as a warrior, in my opinion. Stampede is basically, it's kind of like a quick sprint. You drop this, and if you're sprinting already, this boosts you like 50% for just, or like even like 100%. Like it's like a, again, I'll have to show it to you guys, but you can stampede off of mountains. In my opinion, this is Adventurine's way of saying no more bunny hopping. This is the new bunny hop, and I do like that. Other classes have these abilities as well. The Skirmisher has Evade, and they also have another spell that lets you get out of battles quickly. Now, Roar is a cool spell. If you are in the midst of a lot of enemies, this basically debuffs their enemies. I think their base attributes get lowered for like 3 minutes. It's actually a really good spell to level up. This is important, guys. You don't want to mess this up. Make sure that your name is awesome, because you only have one character. You can't create multiple characters in Darkfall Unholy Wars. You only have one character per server. Okay, well, guys, we made it into Darkfall Unholy Wars. Welcome! Looks like we are in a new tutorial zone. This is basically for new players to get familiar with the basics of Darkfall Unholy Wars, the movement, and some of the basic spells and abilities that you're going to be using. On the left here it says WASD. Run around using the WASD keys, and then press Z to toggle. Okay, here we go. Okay, sprint by holding down the Shift key while using the W key. So Control C basically makes my character crouch. This is pretty key to use, especially when you're sneaking up upon enemies. Okay, next is use spacebar to jump. Easy. Okay, another important thing in Darkfall Unholy Wars, H. This is your rest key. If my stamina goes to 0, I essentially, I can't fight, I can't swing, I'm not able to sprint. So one way to regain stamina, health, and mana is to rest. So let's hit H. Okay, and on the left here it says, click on the middle mouse button to equip your Dawn Blade. Okay, Dawn Blade is equipped. Next it says R to unsheath or sheath your weapon. This is how you equip your weapon here. So if I hit R, I should be able to equip it here. Okay, it says follow the path until you reach the next training area. There's some complicated stuff here. We're just going to take it step by step because the tutorial does explain a lot of this. There's multiple ways to control your weapons and your spells and abilities. So, okay, next on the list is left mouse button, strike at a training dummy by approaching it, aiming your crosshairs onto it, and clicking your left mouse. Okay, here's some training dummies up here. A tip for all you guys that are watching this. This is not a tab target game. This is a skill-based game. You have to actually aim. You have to aim to attack. So, it's, you know, it's in my opinion, it's great because skill-based games bring out good players. You're not going to be able to magically target someone and shoot a fireball that automatically goes to that player. You actually have to aim. Okay, now it says parry by pressing your V key. I actually rebound this to my tab, but you can use V to parry as well. It just depends on what you like. Now let's go ahead and parry real quick. Parry is blocking. If someone's attacking you and you're getting low, blocking does obviously help. It lowers the damage when you're getting hit. Okay, next we have scroll through your quick slot using the mouse wheel and find the Dawn Bow. Next, click the mouse wheel to unsheath it. Okay. Here's the Dawn Bow. Looks like we're going over here to shoot at one of the targets here. Okay, hold down the left mouse button to draw and aim your bow. Let go to release the arrow. Pressing R will sheath your weapons. Okay? We're already, our weapons are already equipped, so we just basically have to aim it. Here we go. So if I shoot up here, I'm going to miss the target. If I shoot right around here, should hit it. Okay, it says press escape to enter GUI mode. Here we go. Now it's getting real. It says press B to open your inventory. It's going to be done in action mode as well as GUI. You're going to be referring to B a lot. Backpack is pretty huge. P is going to be paper doll. Let's go ahead and hit P to open that up as well. A couple cool things of reference here. Here's our quick slots. This is actually really important. You're going to be using this a lot. Add your Dawn staff to the quick slots by dragging it to an empty slot beneath your paper doll. So here's our quick slots. Let's go ahead and add the Dawn staff to number 3. So 1, 2, and 3. There's a couple ways to use your quick slots. One is using my middle mouse button. If I basically scroll up with the middle mouse button or scroll down with it, if you look in the very bottom middle of the screen, you can see my Dawn staff, you can see my Dawn bow, you can see my Dawn sword. These are all basically easy to get to. After scrolling up and down with the middle mouse button, I just have to click on it. So there we go. I got my Dawn staff. Now that's one way to do it. Another way is by using your number pad, your keypad on the right, 1, 2, and 3. So on the keypad, I can hit 2, I can hit, that's for my bow, I can hit 3 for my staff, or I can go to 1. There's a couple ways to use your quick slots. If you feel like scrolling with the mouse wheel is the easiest way to do it, go for it. If you feel like using 1, 2, and 3 on your numpad is easier, I find that a little bit quicker, especially in the heat of battle. Feel free to do that as well. But there's multiple ways to get access to your quick slots, which is going to be very important down the road. Anyways, let's continue with the tutorial here. Sorry, I'm getting super excited here, guys. I'm overloading you with information here. Attack the mage totem by aiming your Dawn staff and clicking your left mouse button. Let's load up the Dawn staff real quick. Here we go. There it is. Okay, next on the tutorial, select Heal Self from the right radio wheel by simply keeping Alt and your right mouse button pressed. Select the spell and release the button. The skill is now set on the right action slot. Okay, this is one of our radio menus here. We need to go to Heal Self, which is right here. Okay, it says press Tab to bring up your radio wheel configuration. Drag and drop the light skill onto any slot on your right radio menu. I'm pretty sure we have light. It's going to be right up here. It's going to be 8. Again, you can bind these keys how you want to, but I have them as Q and E. So if I hit Q, it's on my left, a radio right now, which again I can use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For example, if I hit 3, I have a stinging riposte there. Now to get to my right radio, I hit E. So you have access to basically 8 spells on the right and 8 spells on the left. Now these spells can be anything from heals to to offensive or defensive. Basically how I have it set up right now, for the most part my offensive spells are going to be on my left radial. I have a couple defensive spells on there, and then more my heals and my my utility spells are going to be on the right radial. Now this is all dependent on you, the player. You can set your left radial how you want, and you can set your right radial. Everyone has their own configuration. But for me, that's just how I like to do it. Okay, let's continue with the tutorial. It says, walk further down through the veil till you reach the hide tents. We have some enemies as well. To be honest with you, I'm much more a fan of the bow. So let's go ahead and switch the bow real quick. Okay, well, if you want to loot a grave, you press F. Didn't get too much, but I will take it because I think, well, it's a good souvenir at least. Also, if you hit a monster or a player in the back, you pretty much do double damage. You do crit. So if someone's running away from you, that's a great time to attack. Or if you can get their backside, that's a good thing as well. And this is just a separate tutorial mode for all new players to learn the basics of Darkfall, because, again, Darkfall is a complicated game for the most part. Once you get the hang of it, it is amazingly fun. It is awesome. But it is a little complex. There's a lot of things to learn. Walk further down through the veil till you reach the high tents. Okay, I think it might be this way. Enter the shadowy cave, it says. Oh boy, here we go. We're entering the shadowy cave. Another thing, if I hit G, oh boy, there's a golem. I don't want to piss him off. If I hit G, I should be able to go into third person here. There we go, third person mode. If you hit G again, it's going to take it back into first. It just depends how you want to play. I like third person because I'm able to see a little bit better, in my opinion. But now, if I switch to like my sword, for example, there's super third person mode. If I hit G, I get a little bit closer in third person. Then I hit G again, I get back in first person. As you can see right now, my stamina is actually kind of low. I'm at 107 stamina. Every time I sprint, my stamina does go down. So if I hit H real quick, I'm just going to rest for about maybe 10 seconds. It does heal up pretty quick here. When you are resting, you do have a rest protection penalty. So if someone were to attack me right now when I'm resting, I'm going to get owned pretty quick. All of my stats, all of my protections are pretty low. In any case, let's get deeper into the cave. It's going to get real here in a second, I have a feeling. Gotta be careful, there are monsters around here, so there's really no point in attacking them right now. They are shooting at me, but they're not doing a lot of damage, so. This guy could do a lot of damage. I gotta be careful. Does he see me? Oh, Shadow Golem. Oh, jeez. I think he sees me, but he's slow. So maybe he has more important things to do on his list. Oh, yeah, he's after. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm just gonna keep going this way. As you can see, this guy has a lot of HPs. There's really no point in attacking him. I don't think he's gonna really give me anything special anyways. And plus, I'm not really skilling up anything, because again, these are starter weapons. Okay, next on the tutorial, avoid the attacks of the dragon and reach the portal below so that the custodian may transport you to safety. Okay, this looks like this could be the tail end of our tutorial, guys. That said, there's a dragon in here. We gotta be careful. Okay, there's the dragon. There's the dragon. Get owned, Mr. Dragon. Wow. Oh. Yeah, I don't think it's worth fighting this guy. I think it's probably a really dumb idea to fight a dragon that probably has infinite HPs. We gotta make it into this portal that the dragon is guarding. We're getting close. Just one way to keep your stuff. Oh, here we go. Walk up very close to the portal shard to interact with it by clicking F while you aim at it. Okay, so here's a portal shard. We're gonna hit F. Okay guys, well hey, we made it officially. We officially made it into the world of Agon in Darkfall Unholy Wars. We are out of the tutorial zone. I just ported into one of the, looks like one of the capital cities in the Wolflands. Let me hit M real quick to show you guys the map and to show you how big this game is. We are currently in Lirin. This is again one of the starter cities in the Wolflands. Let me just zoom out here to show you how big this map is. This is an open world map, guys. Okay. Yeah, there you go. This is the map. We have 4 islands. On the top left, we have Nif. Nif is one of the ice islands. On the top right, we have an island called Yassam. On the bottom left, we have an island called Ruby. And then on the bottom right, we have an island called Karn. Besides those islands, we have a huge mainland called Agon. As you can see, we are way up here. And let me tell you something. Just to walk from where I'm at down, down this way will take a while. This is a huge map. To run from this side of the map to the other side of the map will probably take me, a good 45 minutes or so, if not longer. And that's, that's if I don't run into enemy players or monsters. Especially I'm a new player, so at this point in time, there's really no point in really venturing far away. I think the best thing to do is do the basic quests here and level up my character. Now, something pretty big in Darkfall Unholy Wars is a new system called the Prowess system. If you look on the very top right of my screen, it's to the left of my ping. If you look at where my ping says 231, 261. Right to the left of that, I have a number. It says 1. That's how much prowess I have. Now, prowess is a new system in the game. Whether I chop wood from a tree, if I harvest, if I get ore, if I kill 10 monsters, if I do certain things in the game, I get prowess points unlocked. Prowess points are points that you're able to use to unlock new skills and abilities. It's a new system that's actually pretty awesome. They didn't have this in the original Darkfall. So one way to basically unlock prowess is just to do things in the game. And there's different feats as well that you can unlock. Now, feats, for example, are like, kill 100 goblins. If you kill 100 goblins, you get 500 prowess, etc., etc. You can use those prowess points to basically get new skills. So I can get more advanced skills for my warrior. I can get, skills for my skirmisher, etc., etc. Let's hit I real quick. Another thing that's really important, a lot of noobs don't really know this, and I'm just telling you because I am a noob, but I also, played Darkfall, so technically this is my first impressions, but technically I know the game. So this is called boosters. Boosters are on the left here. Boosters, the strong, add 10 to strength, add 37 to health. Agile is going to be dex. It's going to add 10 to dexterity, 37 to stamina. The smart is going to be 10 to intelligence, 37 to mana. The wise is going to be 10 to wisdom and 37 to mana. Now, just depends how you want to play. I would recommend, again, current prowess is 1, but once you start to build your prowess points, I think the most important thing to do is get your boosters up. If you're going to be a dex, if you want to be an archer or a ranger and really utilize your bow, I highly recommend getting your boosters for agility. You want to get this maxed up. If you can get to 1600, do it. This is going to basically give you a lot more dexterity and a lot more stamina. This is one way for new players to actually have some viability in the game. If you're going to be a warrior, if you're going to be a strength warrior, you want to get the strong. You want to get your boosters up for the strong. Now, down the road, one thing that I would do, I would get maximum boosters in the strong and in the agile, just because you can kind of go back and forth from strength warrior to dex warrior. If you're going to be a mage, the smart and the wise are going to be very important to get. You want to get your boosters up for intelligence, or you want to get your boosters up for wisdom. It just depends on what kind of class you're going to play. Boosters are super important. This is a cool new feature in Darkfall Unholy Wars that really gives you the ability to kind of focus on one. You can't disperse this. You can only use these one at a time. But in my opinion, it's very important to get these boosters up as soon as possible. This game has full loot PvP. So basically what that means, right now we are in a safe zone. If you look on the top right of my minimap, underneath my minimap you see a green shield. Right now it's green. Basically that means I'm in a safe zone. Now safe zones are basically where the starter cities are. This is a starter city, Lyran. We're in a safe zone right here. There's another starter city over here, Aventurine, and then there's another starter city here called Urinar. This is just the racial class. Again, the Wolflands, the Mahrum class, which I am a Mahrum class, this is where we start. If I was Alfar would be starting, I think, down here somewhere. You see there's purple cities here. The purple cities are the starter zones, where the new players basically start. They're safe, but the further you venture outside of the starter zones, where you get, better things happening, you're going to basically be out of a safe zone. Once you're out of a safe zone, where my green shield is, that green shield is going to turn into a red sword. That red sword basically lets you know you're not in a safe zone anymore. You're not in Kansas anymore, basically. And that means anyone can attack you. Any player can attack you, or you can attack any player. If you die, you lose everything on your character. This makes it very fun. It also makes it very scary if you're a new player. A lot of people don't want to lose their stuff. On a good note with Darkfall, it's easy to get items and gear, and it's easy to get stuff again, so you don't have to worry too much. Now, one thing to do is go to a bank. There's banks in pretty much every city. There's chaos banks. There's banks all around the areas. So if you have a lot of good items, go to the bank, hit F, and there's my bank, and you can deposit, let's deposit lizard in a stick. There we go. We got lizard in a stick, we're going to deposit that. If you're a smart player, you get some good loot, you get some good items, go ahead and deposit that in the bank. Don't always carry everything on your character, because if you do get ganked, if you do get killed, not in a safe zone, they're going to probably take everything on your character. So again, I know, it's kind of crazy, it's kind of hardcore, but it's awesome. Now they give you some starter tools to work with. We have an axe to chop wood. We have a skinner. This is if you kill a monster, you can basically skin its grave, and you get some special, like stuff to craft later down the road. There's a huge crafting system in this game. It's so detailed and complex. I'm really not going to go too much into it in the first impressions here. There's a sickle, which means we can harvest stuff. There's a shovel, which means we can dig, and then there's an axe, which means we can mine ore. Now, all of these harvesting and crafting abilities give you prowess points. As a new player, I think one of the best things to do is start off by, well, chopping wood and getting some ore and putting it in the bank. That is going to also give you prowess points. Before we start harvesting and mining and chopping wood, I think the best thing to do is start with the new player quests. On the top left of my screen, it says use the bindstone. So this is kind of like the starter abilities. We're gonna get prowess points for doing this. So here's a bindstone. In every city, you're gonna see one of these things. If you hit F at this bindstone, I am now bound to it. So let me hit F real quick. Okay, so we just got that. As you can see, I'm up to 6 prowess points. On the top right of my screen, next to my ping, I'm up to 6. You get points for every single thing you do here. The next says turn on map bank overlay. So let's press M real quick to open up the map. Okay, so press M to open up the map and turn on the bank indicator overlay. I believe it's right here. Banks. Down the road, when you start to get some good gear and items, you're going to want to deposit your stuff into banks so you don't lose everything. Next is locate the bank and press the use button to access your bank vault. Okay, we are up to 11 prowess points. We're getting there, guys. Okay, up to 16. As you can see, we're building it slowly but surely here. It says drag the stack of 30 leather from your bank to your backpack. There's our 30 leather. Let's drag it to our backpack. Okay, it says open up the map and turn on the points of interest overlay. Okay, points of interest. Where is it at here? Unbound bindstones, monster spawn points, points of interest. There we go. These are points of interest. These are villages. These are a lot of villages actually. They're points of interest, as well as it looks like we have different things here. Crafting stations. It's good to know, especially when you're in a city, like us, for example. This is going to tell us, you know, vendors. There's a spellmaster, magic supplier, sage, battle master. This is where you get some of your spells and your abilities from. Battle supplier, merchants. Okay, next is locate the general goods merchant and sell the leather. Okay, I'm going to hit F to talk to the merchant. Up here we have buy, and then we have sell. Click on sell. I'm going to drag my leather onto the sell menu. Okay, and I'm going to hit check mark right here on the top right. I'm going to hit OK. There we go. I just sold one or more items. Now again, this little star with these little circles up here are kind of what we're doing right now. Basically, this is the newbie feats, but down the road there's going to be more advanced feats, like kill 1,000 of this type of monster, or mine 1,000 ore, chop 1,000 wood, etc., etc. You can put feats that you're working on the top left. You can drag them up here so you can focus. You can kind of see how far they're at. Okay, next on the list is chop 15 timber. So I'm going to hit B. I'm going to double click on my wood axe, equip it. I'm going to hit R to sheath it. I'm going to find a tree real quick. You'll know it's a tree if it says a heavy logging tree or logging tree, and then I'm going to left click. I'm going to chop some wood now. Here we go. We want to get 15 timber to get this feat completed here. Locate the workbench on the map and craft 1 piece of wood. So here's the workbench right here, guys. And here is the smithy. We'll be able to do a lot of things. Weapon smithing, you want to make weapons, shield crafting, armor smithing, smelting, etc. But right now, our quest here is to go to the workbench. We'll hit F. Now this is another place we can do bowers. If you want to create bows, wood cutting, tanning, this is the basic refinery. Basically what we want to do is refine the wood that we just chopped. So double click on wood cutting, double click on wood, and then basically we want to turn this into wood instead of timber. Here we go. I'm crafting it. There is a chance of failure. I have a 75% chance of success here. There it is, successful. I got 2 wood out of it. The next thing on the list of things to do is enable the monster spawn overlay on the map and locate a monster spawn. We started with 1 prowess. We now have 67 prowess in a matter of minutes. The more stuff you do, the quicker you're going to get prowess. Some of these cool feats as well will give you a ton of prowess depending on what it is. I can show you the feats menu real quick. Okay, here's some new feats. These are the new feats that I've just started to get here. And let's go, I think there's all feats here. If we go to all feats, Master Evil Eyes Blinder. Perform the killing blow on 150 Evil Eyes. If you do that, you get 4,272 prowess. Let's go ahead and go to the Battle Master. I'm going to show you what kind of spells and abilities you can get here. Okay, well here is the Battle Master. Now, before we talk to the Battle Master, I want to show you guys a cool little thing here. Next to each Battle Master, you're going to see something here called the Weapon Rack. Weapon racks, depending on who looted it last, you're able to get a random assortment of weapons. Sometimes you can get a rank 20 dagger, sometimes you can get a rank 30 bow, sometimes you can get a rank 50 axe. I mean, it just depends. It's random. So who knows? Let me hit F and see if we get anything. Ooh, the weapon rack is empty. That means someone probably just looted it briefly, but... Okay, so Battle Master focuses on just the warrior and the skirmisher. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do here is locate a monster spawn. So one way to do that is check that, there we go. So here's all the monster spawns that we have. There's a monster spawn north of us, monster spawn east of us. There's a bunch. So let's go ahead and go northeast here, and let's maybe go to the zombies here. Okay, well, we're heading to the zombies. But before we do that, we are still in the safe zone. Even though I'm leaving the city, there is a nice zone around these starter areas, which really gives new players the ability to kind of get to know the game without worrying about getting attacked and killed. Okay, they just want me to kill one monster, so let's do that. They told me to kill one, I killed two. It's what I do. It's what I do. Okay, I'm using mana stamina to get my stamina up, and it looks like, let me hit number 2 real quick. That's going to be stamina to health. I want to get my health up a little bit as well. Oh, bad guy. Right now, my bow is not skilling up because I'm using the starter bow. I need to get a rank 0 bow basically to skill up my bow skill. Hopefully these guys will drop some rank 0 weapons. We'll see. Oh, there's a great axe it dropped and some ore. Cool. Another thing to note, when you see blue fire coming, basically coming out of a grave, basically, it means that it hasn't been looted yet. If there's no fire, that means there's no loot. Oh, cool! Yes, great sword! Yes, that's awesome. This is just a rank 0 sword, but I'm definitely going to use a two-handed sword. I just put it as number 1 on my quick slot, so I can easily go to it now. Also, there's 2 types of swings. Right now I'm doing a swing from right to left. If I want to do top to down, I hit T. And this helps a lot of times, especially if you're fighting in large groups. You don't want to always hit your friends if you're doing a PvE quest or something like that. Another thing to do real quick, I'm going to hit B. I'm going to go to my Skinner. And this is another way to get a lot of prowess points and to get some stuff you can use for crafting down the road. So I'm just going to literally left-click the Skinner, the grave here. I'm going to skin stuff. Let's see what I get. Oh, I got some inferior ooze. Okay. Let's go ahead and do Bindstone Recall. Now, Bindstone Recall, basically, the first thing I did when I got into the game, out of the tutorial zone, was bind to my Bindstone. Now, we're not too far away. It's just right up there. But say you were far away from your city and you want to get back to your city. This is what you do. On the top right of the screen, on the top left of the mini-map, right underneath the time, it says 1413 CST. We have something called Bindstone Recall. So let's go ahead and click that real quick. Now basically it's going to take about a minute, but once this is finished, this is going to take me right back, it's going to portal me right back to my starter city. Just to be wary though, this can get interrupted. If a monster aggroes me right now and attacks me, my Bindstone Recall will get interrupted and basically I won't be able to use it for a couple minutes. I think it's like 3 or 4 minutes to use again.
Okay, about 5 seconds left here.
Okay, well, we made it back. That's officially what Bindstone Recall does. If you're far away from your town and you need to port back, that's the quickest and easiest way to do it. That said, it does have a timer on. I think I have a couple minutes before I can use it again. Okay, the next on the list is to spawn a mount. It looks like they added one in the bank here. Mounts help you tremendously in this game. First of all, they're a lot faster than running. You don't lose your stamina. Also, when you're in a safe zone, your mount is yours. See how it says RipperX, MMORPG.com? That means this is my mount essentially for 2 minutes. If I were to leave this mount for longer than 2 minutes, I think it goes, my name goes away and anyone can pick it up and steal it basically. But right now, the mount is mine. Okay, now if you see this, the laboratory, this is going to be in any type of city. If you see this, you press F. There's a couple things you can do. You can do staff crafting. You can do alchemy. This is potion making. Or you can do mount summoning. And I think we have the Spellmaster. Okay, this is for mages as well. I do want to start to basically kind of build my bank. One thing to do building your bank is, well, you know, take your stuff that you just got. So like my wood and timber, that's important to have. Fossils are going to be important to have down the road. You can make battle spikes from fossils. Rawhide, this is important if you want to start crafting bows and leather armor. Inferior use. This stuff right here is stuff that we're going to use down the road. I don't even know what it's used for yet, but I know it's good to collect. Ore is very important as well. This is how you're going to make your armor, your warrior armor and weapons. Ore refines into ore, basically. So ore, rawhide, and timber, these are all very important items to have. Okay, let's see what the next thing on our list is. Again, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. This is a very detailed first impressions of Darkfall Unholy Wars, one of my all-time favorite games. This is in my top 3. The original Darkfall was one of my all-time favorite games. It's one of the very few games that made my heart race and pound. Once you get your character leveled up a bit, then you can start to PvP, and that's when it gets interesting. Again, for this first impressions video, I'm just showing you the basics of this very detailed game. Let's go up here, click on the star. What does it say to do? Oh crap! Okay, leave protected area. Now this could be dangerous, but we're gonna do it just to show you guys. Here we go. Okay, one other thing I'm gonna do just to show you guys what I think is important. I'm hitting P going to my paper doll, hitting B going to my backpack. I'm going to drag my mount onto number 8 on my quick slot. So now I have a couple things I can do. I can use my my scroll wheel on my mouse to scroll. If you see in the very bottom middle of the screen, you can see there's my mount. Or I can just hit 8 on my numpad. I'm going to hit 8 right now. And that spawns wherever my mouse is pointed. Ride far from your location until you exit the protected area. And then we're going to ride back in. Whoa! Hey, there's a statue! Hey, statue. Wow, that's cute. This game is handcrafted. I mean, everything you see here is made by the dev team. They really hand-carved this world. Okay, my friends, well, we are leaving the protected area. Not yet. It just depends where you're going. You're probably gonna take a minute to leave it, but... Hey, there's another player right there. Oh, Sire from Immortals. He is, it looks like he is Bindstone. He's recalling. He's going somewhere. He probably just mined a lot of stone. Cool. Savooner looks like that guy is ungilded. He's a strength warrior. As you can see, there's like an S to the right of his name. That means he's a strength warrior. This guy's also a strength warrior as well. Pretty cool. Oh, look what I found, guys. Okay, now this is something that's pretty cool in the game as well. They're called Chaos Chests. This is where you can actually get some really cool stuff here. It doesn't always happen. You run up to a Chaos Chest and you press F. You usually get some good stuff. What did I get here? 185 gold, it said. Let's see what it says here. In combat log, it says I got 185 gold, a minor stamina potion, minor mana potion. That's pretty awesome. Chaos Chest will grant you gold once in a while, too. With the Chaos Chest, you can get some really rare things. You can get house deeds. You can get... house deeds are probably one of the rarest things you can get in the game. You can actually... There's houses and there's villas. You can actually get a house, but you do have to pay rent on that house. That's for another video, but... In all of my years of playing Darkfall 1, I never ever got a house deed, so maybe in the new Darkfall Unholy Wars, once the game is released, maybe I can get some kind of house deed or something. We are still in a protected area. Underneath my minimap, I still have the green shield. Once you leave a protected area, in the middle of your screen, there's going to be big words that says you are now leaving the protected area. It's warning you, as well as it's also going to let you know on the bottom right of the minimap here as well. It's going to turn into a red sword here, so... Okay, another thing to note here, we're about to go into another zone. See these little, looks kind of like a border area. Sometimes when you leave the zone, it changes in terms of your protection. So we'll see what happens here. If I get to the new zone, maybe my protection will drop. I know we're getting pretty close here. Protection is about to, the safe zone is about to disappear. There it is. Beware, you are now, there we go. My protection is inactive. I can be attacked now by anybody. I can die. It's very scary. So you can see on the bottom right, it is now a red sword. What we need to do, though, is it says re-enter the protected area to regain your protection. Let's do that. So it doesn't automatically, you're not protected automatically once you re-enter the protection zone. You have 20 seconds. I have 20 seconds to basically get my protection officially back on. Right now it's still, I could be attacked by someone if they were chasing me. Okay, the next thing to do is open your feats window and drag one feat to the tracking dock at the top left. Here's our feats right here. Okay, minor herb gatherer. Let's go ahead and drag that to the top left here. There we go. Okay, the next thing on the list is complete any 3 feats. So here's what I can do. I mean, I can bring this one up there as well. Oops, that's the same one. Cotton, we can do cotton gatherer. Well, there it is, guys. I have, well, 3 feats to complete. Once you get those feats completed, just going to keep going in terms of getting prowess and getting points and progressing. I have a long ways to go. Here's my base stats. My base stats are 22 strength, 22 dex. If I want to get my bow a lot more powerful, I'm going to have to shoot a lot more arrows. To get your strength up, using like a two-handed weapon will get your strength up, but you have to hit things. So hitting a monster will get your strength up. Shooting a monster with a bow will get not only your dex up, but it will also level your archery. Now we can go check that out by up here, hitting skills. Here's combat skills. Right now my great axes are at 1.67, great swords are at 1.85. My archery is at 0, as at 1 essentially, because I don't have a rank 0 yet, but basically if I can find a couple rank 0 bows and I can start shooting a bunch of monsters, my archery will start to level pretty quick. Okay, let's go ahead and Bindstone recall back to our home base here. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. This was my very first impressions of Darkfall Unholy Wars. This is the beta. There will be changes in release. There will be a lot of new additions to the game. Don't get me wrong, don't consider this first impressions a final outlook on the game. This is beta. There's a lot more stuff to be added. There's a lot more patches, tweaks, new roles, classes, dungeons, a lot more things to come in Darkfall Unholy Wars. Very excited to see this game released. It's going to be amazing to see a high player population come into this game and start to fight, start to claim cities, start to do sieges. This game is full loot. This is a hardcore game, full loot PvP. If you're not in a safe zone, you can attack players and loot them and take their stuff and make them cry. I've seen it happen more than once. It's a lot of fun. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is my very first impressions of Darkfall Unholy Wars. I want to do more videos of this game for sure, just because it is such a detailed game and there's a lot more things to really show you guys. Thanks again for tuning in. My name is Ripper X. I will see you soon.